Your amendment, I'm a little disappointed at the end. It looks like it requires 2/3 votes to take effect.
It does when you're talking about the rainy day fund. Indeed, it does.
It's going to require 2/3 votes. I hope members are paying attention because I think what you're doing is great.
Thank you.
You are proposing, I think in reality, is it not a fact that we are kind of hedging our bets, hoping the economy comes back?
Yes, we are, and indeed we've been getting some good news from the comptroller about that.
And isn't it a fact that we're hoping, we've been saying all along, many of us, at least I know I have, that as our economy comes back, hopefully we'll be able to fund education more, and this is a vehicle to be able to do that very thing, is it not?
Thank you, Representative Weber. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
You've got a great amendment, and I'm going to vote for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Farrar, for what purpose?
Will the gentlelady yield?
Ms. Howard, do you yield?
I yield.
So my original amendment just said flat out $2 billion would go to foundation schools out of rainy day. And so yours, and I had contemplated this idea, and we spoke about it,
right,
that make it perhaps contingent in case, well, if the money's there, and also if there are other needs and so on, and that we still meet our Medicaid obligation and so on. So yours just says if the money's there, because we keep hearing the argument about not spending money we don't have. But this one says if we do have, then we would send the money to the schools, and it's only $2 billion. It's not the $4 billion that's needed, but it would help substantially. Correct?
Absolutely. You said it absolutely correctly. Yes, this is essentially dividing the amount that's needed in half, but focusing on the part that deals with enrollment growth, the projection that we need for enrollment growth. I think it's a very fiscally responsible way to do it because, as you said, it's contingent upon whether or not we have new revenue coming in.
And we heard in previous arguments that we have a great economy, and we have that because of our educational system, but we would not have so. It would not be the same if we're moving backwards, and not funding enrollment growth is a step backwards, correct?
I think we all know that economic development and education are closely tied to one another, and in fact the Texas Association of Business has continued to advocate for an additional $3 billion being invested in public education. So I think we're on firm ground here that this is clearly something that will support our economy, that will make sure that the new students coming into our schools at least have opportunities for a quality public education experience.
Would you agree then that beyond the cuts that schools will be facing, there'll be an additional cut when we're not funding enrollment growth?
That's correct.
And so what your amendment would say is that we would leave, if the money is there, we would continue exactly where we are today, not anymore, but where we are today, correct?
Correct. It's actually suggesting that if the money's there, as you said, that the Texas Education Association commissioner would then adjust the formulas to reduce the cuts, if you will.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Solomon,
will the gentlelady yield for question?
Ms. Howard, do you yield for question?
Yes, I yield.
Is it your position with your amendment that we're not going to use any more of the rainy day fund?
That's correct. Not what currently is there.
Okay. And what you're saying is if we have an increases in the rainy day fund, they should go to help all the fast growth school districts like mine and some others in this state for new enrollment growth.
That's right. It would be spread across every district in this state.
That's really what your amendment does. We do not touch the rainy day fund, as we said a lot of us didn't want to do.
Right.
But for the new money coming in connection, even though we know we have some issues down the road, it is to help school districts, especially fast growth school districts in North Texas, in various parts of the state, to help handle the enormous amount of new enrollment that we have.
You're absolutely correct.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Representative Howard sends up an amendment to the amendment. It's acceptable to the author. Is there objection? Chair is none. The amendment to the amendment is adopted. Representative Farrar sends up an amendment. It's acceptable to the author. Is there objection? Chair is none. It's ordered.